Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Friday night. It's me, Lynn Rene MacDonald, here live from Virginia Beach, Virginia at the Institute for Christ Consciousness and the Copper Dragon. Okay, a love, energy, healing, and teaching center for people and pets, as well as higher vibration metaphysical shop for gifts and for of all different kinds from all over the world and all over the country by super high-end spiritual people. All right. Tonight's show is 6 and 12 Medical Intuitive for 6:15. I see everybody starting to come up. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. Happy holiday weekend. If you celebrate Easter or the holiday, this is a holiday weekend or whatever you celebrate, happy holidays to everybody and happy whatever it is that you celebrate. Okay. Because really what holidays are supposed to be about is really love, right? So tonight's show is 6 and 12 Medical Intuitive. I am here live with my whole crew here. There's Jennifer over to my right. Ray is traveling to see her family for the holidays for this weekend, so she's not here with us tonight. We have a new superstar who's taken in one of the chairs up here, and that's Sophia, right? And Sophia is going to be helping with everybody's questions tonight. And we also have our great visitor, another family of people of our family, is my mom. All right, so my mom has decided to come and for Easter, and she's visiting us. Yeah, she's making faces over there in the audience, but she's here tonight. So we got my whole family with us tonight to have a great time with you and answer your questions and have the best time for this Friday evening for our 6 and 12 Medical Intuitive show. Again, it's Jennifer, Mom, Sophia, and me, right, tonight. Madeline's busy doing her own thing, and for tonight. So 6 and 12, Medical Intuitive, what do we focus on here in this show? It's every Friday night. It's on donation. So if you can donate, it's at 7:15 every Friday night. If you can donate PayPal, Venmo, send your donation as well as in check, cash, or whatever money order it could be to our Shoppe and Center. That would be just fine as well. And also, there's other ways to donate, along with, whether you can do financial donations. You can also share our stuff. I tell everybody, guided by love, just like I do, you give from your heart and you ask love what's the best to give, the best amount to give, right? Or when to give. And, just like sharing our stuff with people, same thing, okay? So 6 and 12 is all about astrology and medical intuitive, and I call it God astrology, working with the 6th and 12th house in astrology, and really all that is astrology. But your 6th house in astrology is your house of health, physical health, mental health, really all health, along with your 12th house, okay? And your 12th house is about hardcore, your mental health and your past lives. And there's much more going on in each of these houses. But the main reason we put the 6 and 12 is guided by higher power, higher knowing. And what we do here is we work with love, God, universe, angels, whatever it is that you feel called of an identity to give it, as long as you understand that it is love, right? And here in this show, we work with love to get you the God's honest truth of the best answers, solutions for your greatest health across the board with everything that is love energy. And that's what this show is about. So the tools that we use are everything God, guided by higher knowing, and working with the formula of what I call God astrology, right? As you saw last week, we did, I think it was last week, we did some cards. We did some, tarot cards, anatomy, antique tarot cards to help us get answers to our health and with our health, as well as we work with the dice, the anatomy, astrology dice, okay? So tonight we're going to start with our questions from last week. But before we do, just so you know, this is everything having to do with health. So anything mental health, physical health, why did somebody pass away? What do I do for my pet? My pet's not, I'm having crisis with my pet, or how do I get my kids to behave? Or does my child have autism? How can I help my child with this? And we generally steer everybody, towards holistic healing, always in the best way possible, right? But everything that we do is guided by higher knowing, and sometimes, right, and always really, we want to incorporate all that is God, that is love, for your best and greatest health, okay? So we do traditional medicine as well, sometimes because there is an avenue and a gift of everything in all that is God for all of us with our health. So we don't want to omit anything, because everything is part of the grand design to help heal, assist, and bring us messages from love energy with our health and everything in our lives. So So that said, you can ask questions. This is the forum for that. You can ask anything and everything that has to do with health. If you don't know if it has to do with health, put it out there, and we will gladly help you with Jennifer and Sophia tonight as the assistants. And we're going to start off with a question or two from last week. And I think, Jennifer, do you have those questions?
I do.
And I just want to say thanks, everybody. I see you guys all on here. Thanks so much for coming. We're going to have a great night and a lot of fun. So thanks. Go ahead.
The first question is, like we said, from an old one. It's Angela Pearl, and she is looking for a clearing. She says, I'm not sure what exactly is going on with me, but I'm feeling down and doubt after a really long high of feeling great and confident. She's wondering if it's possibly astrological or sun flare related. And then she wanted to add that her Saturn is in Scorpio at 21.5 degrees in the 10th house.
All right. Saturn in Scorpio at 21.5 degrees in the 10th house. Well, the 22nd degree is in, how do I say that, Sophia? In Antarctic? Anoretic, that's the word. I'm always calling everything Antarctic. All right, so it's an anoretic degree. So the 22nd degree is an anoretic degree, and guess what planet governs that? Saturn. Okay, so there's definitely a big Saturn influence, and Saturn is known as, to most people, as a really your governor of karma. And as you know, it can be super challenging and super malefic. So you're asking, Angela, hi, thanks for coming. You're asking about, what's going on. Absolutely. Everything that happens in the stars is the catalyst, or basically the formula of God, or a formula that is the top formula in all that is God to get to the answers in astrology that bridges Earth world, Saturn's Earth world, all right, this dimension with all that is God, that is love, in a way that humanity can comprehend and understand it, right? And this is really, astrology has been the formula for medicine for a long ass time, before even Western medicine, and basically since the beginning of time, really. All right, so astrology has been around for a long ass time, and this is because it's a formula that's steadfast and true, all right, and it's guided by the stars, and the transits are the catalyst, right, of the transits of the planets are the catalyst for, let's see, what is happening in the now, right, and how it affects you. So by all means, solar flares, what's happening with the moon, what's happening in the planets and the transits, and what's happening in your chart, in all the layers in astrology that universe, let's say, has guided me to, that we'll talk about as we get into the future, right? Everything is all part of the grand design that is you. So by all means, when you say, is this solar flare affecting me, I'm getting a yes, but there's many things, right? Astrology, like your soul, like everything that is God, is super complex, right? It's very simple in terms of it being love and the formula of love, but it's very complex in so many ways, as you can see outside in your reality and everywhere you go, and as you can see in the complications, meaning, or the complexities of people, their behavior, their health, their lives, right? And everybody is so uniquely different, because that's just the nature of God and love, right? Okay, so that said, what I'm being guided to do is work with this astrology dice, and I'm going to ask God, right? I'm gonna do, and this is why I call it God astrology. I'm going to ask universe, God, love, what is the best way to heal or clear and change and work on, right, this depression stuff for you, right? So whatever it is that you're going through with this down and out kind of stuff, we're going to ask God that you're free of it. We're going to ask God that we clear it, heal it, change it, and be free of it from love. And we're going to ask God for the most powerful energy that is all of this in the placement of the stars that is creating this in your life. And we're going to ask God to clear, heal, and change it now. And we're going to show you where that is, all right? And we're going to ask God to bring us to that. It's Angela, right?
Yes.
Angela, now please. Thank you. From love in the purest form. So the two that we got the fourth house. And guess who it is? That's right. It's Saturn. And you know what's fucking funny about that is you were right on, because the fourth house and the 10th house in astrology go together. They're like, like yin and yang, right? The 10th house and the fourth house. And I think you said you have a solar flare and you have something at 21.5 degrees in your 10th house, correct? Is that right, Jen? Is that what she said, I think?
Yes.
Yeah. So what planet? Is it Saturn that she's got going on there?
That's what she said.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now, so everybody can understand what we're doing, right, is I'm going to work on my phone and I'm going to pull up some stuff, because what we have here with the die is we have the planet Saturn, which is exactly what you picked up as to why, right? Saturn is very much known. I don't know if you can see Saturn. Here it is. hope you can see it. Thanks God for everybody being able to see it. The symbol there for Saturn. Is that it? Yeah. All right. And then we have the number 4, which is the 4th house, right? So the 4th house is the moon of family, the mother. 4th house is the house of the moon, the subconscious, the family, the mother, your ancestry. Okay. So there's, and the 10th house is your career. All right, and Saturn is your taskmaster, your governor of all that is time, father time, your karma, basically your deliverer of karma in earth world, right? It's known as a malefic. So these are areas, where anytime you're going to have depression in your energy and challenges, some of the best placements right off the bat, there's 2. You're always going to look at your moon and what's going on with your moon. And then you're always going to look at your Saturn, right? And you automatically picked up on that, which tells me you already have gifts in astrology for you and your healing and your basically spiritual career, so to speak, and into the future. So it wouldn't surprise me if you work with this into the future as well. So that said,
interestingly enough, she says she's not happy with her career.
So you may be changing that, right? We're all going down different directions. I have a lot of really great stuff that I'm going to tell you guys about in the future, but I have to work through my shit with the lovely, with my soul and the lovely planet Saturn and all the other stuff in my astrology as things come to fruition. And guided by higher knowing, right? So it would not surprise me if one of your new avenues for your career is working with astrology and learning all about it. Of course, everybody here is learning new stuff from the universe, guided by our team and us, right? Through us and through me, right? Okay, so, and we work together from love because we are all part of that energy. All right, that said, I'm going to see if I can keep this cord in my phone. Thanks God for making this work, and I'm going to pull up. Because we have Saturn, what we got was Saturn in the 4th house, right? All right, so we're going to pull this up because this is going to be some of your bears. And then you can tell us, Angela, what you feel is going on with you. And this is the cool stuff about astrology is you can work with, you don't have to sit down and learn all about it to pull the stuff up on the internet and do this work yourself, right? To help you, to work on your spiritual stuff, to work on the metaphysical. Because everything physical out here and physical in your health is metaphysical. Right? From lifetimes to present day now. We carry everything and all that is God within us, God within. I'm sure you all have heard that saying, right? Everything that is love energy, that is God, is in us, and we carry it through our experiences through lifetimes, and we're super connected, right? All right, so we carry that energy with us. Now, I'm just going to, let's see if I can put this in here. Thank you, God. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up, you guys know it, what do you call it? The Google page. I don't know what your search engine is, but if you can see this, right? This is what, it's crazy phone. It looks bright light. I hope you guys can see it. Thanks, God, for letting them be able to see it. Can they see it? Can you look on there? Were they able to see it?
The Google?
Yeah. Are you guys even paying attention?
Oh, you got jokes. I'm sharing everywhere.
I do got jokes.
I'm sharing.
Can you tell me, can they see it? Can they see it? All right. So you're going to pull up your stuff on your Google page, right? What are we going to put in that Google search bar? What?
You can kind of see it, but it's kind of rough.
All right. So
Angela says she saw it for a second.
All right, but you all are familiar with the Google search engine page, right? Yeah. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to put moon. Was it moon? No, right now we're going to do, let's see, it was the 4th house Saturn, right? So we're going to hit Saturn in the 4th house natal.
No, I think it was 10th house.
Oh, 8. Actually, you're right. Thanks. It's the 10th, right?
Saturn in Scorpio. 10th house.
No, that was for her. What came up on the dice was the 4th house.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
All right. I need you to pay attention.
Oh, my God, Rebecca.
This is the shit. So you don't want to work with me because I'm a challenge.
Truth.
All right. So yeah, when I rolled it on the dice, I got Saturn in the 4th. All right, which is basically Saturn in the 10th. So you're not wrong. I'm just going with what exact placement that universe is guiding me so that we can pull this energy out of her. Do you see what I'm saying? So you ready? Ready, guys? So I put in my phone, Saturn in the 4th house natal. Let me just see. And I'm going to see if I can't pull that up for you guys. See it on the top bar? Can you guys tell me? Can you validate?
It's not coming up yet.
Mm-mm.
Is it on the top there?
We're on a delay.
Yeah.
Oh, how are we on a delay?
So, do you see, look.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So they're going to see it in a few minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're on
So
a
we're not
delay.
seeing it. Well, you're showing it because.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't even know. Okay, God, straighten this out, please, from love. All right. So thanks for everybody's patience here. Okay, so we have Saturn in the 4th house natal. All right. And what we're going to do is, oh, man, thank you, God. Oh, wait, it came off Saturn. So thanks God for clearing out these challenges we're having today. I hit Saturn in the 4th house natal. I take the Google stuff. I Google it on my phone, right? And then I pull up whatever astrology stuff comes up, guided by God. And then instantly, usually the very first answer will be very powerful in the clearing that will behoove you, that is necessary for the changes that we need to do here, right? So I want you to listen, especially Angela and everybody on here. You ready, guys? If Saturn is authority in the 4th house, and this is liveabout.com, okay, this is understanding Saturn in the 4th house, okay? So if Saturn is authority, I just want to give credit due to the astrologer or astrology site that pulls this stuff up. We always want to honor everybody, right? Guided by highest knowing of love and do the right thing. All right, so if Saturn is authority in the 4th house, the challenge is to reclaim emotional soul sovereignty. Ooh, this is big shit. The house is ruled by Cancer. The water sign is emotional force with a life quest to gain emotional independence. If family drives you crazy, with Saturnian discipline, you can get to the roots of that crazy. Okay, this is pretty cool. Now, we're going to move on and we're going to read a little bit more about it because, Angela, you can then validate this, right, in our reality right here and say, yes, I feel like this. No, I don't, right? And all the answers, right, start with here and us for asking God what the metaphysical cause is and what that energy is. That is this. And then the astrology puts it into words. And that's what we're doing here. So that we can clear this out of you, right, this depression and this propensity for depression and all energy and emotional energy that is all of this that creates this to happen in your reality. So then the next time, right, it will be less likely to happen in this way, or you may have other energies that bubble up that are things that behooves you to work on, and the depression would be the go-to energy, let's say, in your soul that it will come out of, right? So anytime you have this stuff, it behooves you to say, what's this that's making me depressed? And talk to God, talk to the universe for the best gifts and tools, right? You can use your chart to do this like we've done in the past, reading your chart, looking into that. And you can also use astrology dice like I do. But the key here is not just to roll the dice. Ask love, talk to love. Ask and be specific as much as possible for those placements to heal you, to help you heal you. All right. That said, because we remove the metaphysical and then the physical changes, right? So let's say you have a whole bunch of metaphysical things in you, energies running in you that are like this that we just read, right? Saturn in the 4th house. Okay. Let's say there's a whole bunch of that, right? And let's say as a general nature of what's going on in the astrology of your natal chart and in your subconscious chart, right? And all that you are, it is your go-to energy that you automatically go to depression. Like water signs a lot of times will cry, they get depressed, they don't want to come out, right? In a depression or a challenging depressional state, right? Like fire signs are like mine. I have water energy too, but I have a lot of fire energy too, right? So a lot of times I have active rage, right? That comes out. So my depression, so to speak, would morph into like a rage, right? A rage, an anxiety, a stress kind of thing, right? So everybody has different elements of how they deal with things emotionally that are healthy and unhealthy, or well or unwell, right? So what's happening here is, as a go-to, right, if you're suffering from like depressive symptoms like this, now you can have multiple different ways that you do things depending on what influences you have going on in you, but what your natural go-to emotional energy is and how much of that you have in the aspects of your chart, your natal chart, and all that you are in your chart, right, and in your soul, right, is what's going to show you the propensity for what's going to manifest out here. So the depression, right, will manifest out here, but there may come a time, right, as you grow grow and change and morph, where you unearth a different way within your soul of dealing with energy, and you may get rage, you may get anxiety, you may have all of these things too in different variations. But as a go-to general rule, the space that you're in right now is this, and this is why we're going into these spaces. And what's interesting is the moon is water energy, right? It's subconscious energy, right? The moon is a water sign, is a sign governed by the sea, right? You have Cancer, you have the water signs Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, right? So they're your go-to major depression signs. Now, you can have depression that morphs into different ways in your body as well, and mental challenges or mental illnesses. I hate to use the word illness because these are just symptoms of underlying issues that are going on in our souls, right? So know this, that you are not your depression. You are not your anger. This is part of you that is just the grand plan of God and the design in your soul so that you can heal you. But it's a complex system of all that is you and all that is God, right? So this said, as a general rule, right, depending on how much water sign you have, that's going to be your tweaking amount that comes out in you in the physical energy. So let's say you have a Pisces moon, a Scorpio rising, you have Pisces in your third house, okay? And let's say you have some powerful planets in the 12th house with these Pisces too, right? So you have that would be a whole bunch of different aspects that are a lot of water, right? And then you may not have a lot of earth sign in you, so you may not have a lot of grounding, right? So a lot of times you could float around in depression and not be able to see the forest through the trees and have challenges in this way, and this is how this energy would manifest. A really good example is Kurt Cobain, right? I'm not saying that anybody who has a lot of water is going to for sure commit suicide. Everybody's journey is unique to themselves, right? But when you have a lot of water sign, right, there's certain particular combinations of signs as well that will lend itself to this, okay? So when you have a lot of water signs, you have a lot of ungroundedness, and you'll tend to have more depression than, let's say, somebody else. They'll also cry a lot. This is the go-to emotional energy, right? Where fire signs, you get a lot of fires. You'll see fire signs, rage, Aries, Mars, Pluto, right? And even though Pluto is known as a water sign, here's what universe tells me: there's massive fire within the depths of Pluto. Think of the earth, think of lava, right? Think of that as the fire energy underneath, because people go, oh, Pluto's a water sign, right? And Pluto, right, and Mars govern Scorpio, and Scorpio is the energy that is a water sign, right? But it has this Mars is in there, right? And Pluto is a water sign, right? So this energy, right, is Mars is the original ruler of Scorpio, right? But yet it's still known as a water sign, okay? So it's really unique how these things morph out. But what universe tells me, and how things go on through time, how there's dual planets that rule different signs, right? So there's so much going on here that you really got to pay attention to. But as a general rule, what's going on with you right now is everything that I'm picking up right here, guided by God and higher knowing and love energy, and the stars. So this is just to give you all some guidance about how these energies work in you as a general rule, right? Your people who are your big criers, right? A lot of times, like in the past, I would talk to Jennifer and my daughter Madeline, who have tons of Pisces energy. In fact, right now, Madeline's solar return chart has in her rising sign, she's got Pisces, right? And then she has Pisces in her overall sun sign. And then what else does she have in there this year? Does she have Pisces in her moon too? She has Pisces in her moon. Madeline does, right? Pisces is her moon.
I think her moon might be Cancer. I think the sun is Capricorn, and I think the rising is either Pisces or Cancer.
In her natal?
No, in her solar return chart.
Okay, so in her natal chart, she has Pisces, she has Gemini rising, Pisces is in her moon, and Capricorn, right? Capricorn Aquarius cusp in her natal chart, right? So we're just having some confusion, so I want to get this straight. And then her solar return chart, what did you say? You think she has a Cancer moon and a Pisces rising? Yeah, but she still has her traditional Capricorn riding over that. So that's a lot of planets, all right, and energy that lends itself to depressional challenges, right? So there's definitely going to be some challenges, but these challenges are designed to make us grow, to help us learn, to help us heal. basically. Heal and change these things to help us be our greatest selves. And by addressing these things, right, off the bat in different ways and learning how to deal with these things and being given tools and working with love energy that is God, where all the best tools are always going to come from, no matter who you are, right? This is where all those answers are going to come. So all of that said, you can understand why somebody would cry more, like Jennifer and Madeline, who have a lot of water energies. They're going to cry more than like your average guy who, let's say, has more earth sign or has more fire sign or air sign. It doesn't mean that you can't cry or you don't cry or you don't feel, right? It's just a different way of processing or a special way that's unique to them that processes these emotions. And everybody is super unique, but this is how it works to give you a general rule. And since we're talking about Angela, right, this has everything to do with her, with this water energy, okay? Okay, that said, we're going to go back to this placement, and I'm going to read you guys about it because this is going to explain to you what Angela is going through, right? And then we're going to take it and we're going to clear out all the energy that is all of this. Because sometimes, even when it seems like it's a positive thing, right, it can morph into different things in your subconscious and cause these things, and then we're not even aware of them, right? But the best thing to do is clear it all out, heal it, change it, release it, and ask God to put in place of this the best way to be from love. And anything that's in this placement or these placements, let's say, which is, right, Saturn in the 4th house, as well as, the Cancer, she said she had Saturn in the 10th as well. So, but it all comes together. If universe says this is where we need to go, this is the energy that is that is manifesting in this way in her soul and in her energy that is her chart. Make sense? Yeah. So it's complex, but it's really kind of easy. Once we learn the formula and we go through this, you guys are going to be amazed. So you ready, Angela? Because here we go. Saturn in the 4th house, overcoming feeling unloved, lack of family, feeling burdens as a kid, emotional neglect, divorce, frequent moving, no roots, overly strict upbringing, overscheduled, no downtime, legacy of family pain, harsh history of nation, tribe, and race. Right? This is really cool shit because to me, I mean, I could use all this. I mean, this is a reflection of all the energy in me. And many of you will find the same thing because what we are is what we attract. And if we're all here, we are very much like each other because that's how energy works. Okay? All right. That said, that's right, Jen.
She says spot on.
All right. So you ready? Okay. So, there is, let's see. So here's what it says. Home is where the Saturn is. The 4th house in Cancer is natural house of emotion, legacies, and often unconscious reactions that come from the embedded story. What we experienced back then is in our very cells. We hold in our bodies soul, psyche, and emotional body. It's the compelling resonance and collection of memories we carry forward from ancestors and childhood. Saturn here brings lessons of facing that inheritance and with effort, maturing, and in our relationships to it over time. Okay, so finding home, let's see. Finding home takes time, and you might not settle until later in life. You might have to peel the onion of defenses if you have to bear a lot of pressure in the home. Some with astrological profile may have to have had it rough early on, forced to be an adult too soon with adult responsibilities. It's possible there was instability with divorce of parents, too busy to fill the home with their comforting presence. The do-it-yourself Saturn is all about learning to self-soothe and be at home with yourself. Right? I'll bet you feel a lot of these things, right? Okay. I'm going to scroll up because I missed this one part. And it says here encouragement, okay? So there's some encouragement in this, which is routines of self-care, valuing ancestral heritage, solid with family, structures in the home, drawn to the timeless and enduring, gaining strength from the past, sense of place, authority as parent, self-sufficiency, affinity for land, finding universal through personal story, force of imagination, emotional substance, and soulful. All of these things, these gifts are gifts of universe that are in your soul, right? And gifts of your soul. So we want to address these things, and that's what we're doing here, right? We're saying these are some of these things are the great things for you, things to work on, change, clear, heal. But we're going to remove all these things and put back, right? Or put in place of this the best way to be from love. And thank you, God, for that for us. But I'm going to go on reading this because this stuff is really incredibly amazing, right? So healthy boundaries is the next section here. It's liveabout.com, right? If Saturn is authority in the 4th house, the challenge is to reclaim emotional soul sovereignty. The house is ruled by Cancer, the water sign of emotional force, with a life quest to gain emotional independence. If family drives you crazy, with Saturnian discipline, you can get to the roots of that crazy. You build up your stamina to set clear boundaries. Dun, 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 dun. Saturn, your master boundary keeper, right? Oh, no, I know that, right?
It's the German Shepherd of the stars.
Yes, Saturn is like the German Shepherd of the stars, right? What does a German Shepherd do? A German Shepherd, and that's really great that you said that, thanks, because I love German Shepherds, and one of the reasons I love German Shepherds is because they teach boundaries. What to do, when to do, what not to do. And if you know anything about the history of German Shepherds, right, what do? They go on your property, right, and everybody thinks that they're like a herding dog, let's say, for herds and stuff. And it doesn't mean that they can't learn these things, but by nature, their job is to keep everybody on the property, right, and in the property, and basically not let others in, right, but not to let anybody out. So these are dogs that are experts at boundaries. They have an higher knowing of understanding. They are a thinking dog. They have been this way for a long ass time throughout history. That's why they're one of our most prominent high-end spiritual dogs, because they have incredible wisdom, right? You can see them thinking about what the right thing to do is as they make decisions, right, that they make. But your German Shepherd is a master boundary dog, and that's one of the reasons why I love them and have them in my life, especially I had a profound loving energy in relationships with one when I was younger. And what's crazy about that is that was when my boundaries were a hot fucking mess, right? Oh, totally. I was like, like I had no boundaries, right? So, but this is what this is about. Honoring you, loving you, setting clear boundaries for what is and is not acceptable for you. So these are some of the challenges that are going on with you, Angela, and for everybody else as well, including me, So, all right, so family pushes the buttons here and can trigger fears of losing control or feeling punished by an authoritative critical figure, a parent. Coming full circle is going home again to those origins and lifting out the essentials. It's building your own sense of home, a place to refill the well and feel belonging with what's enduring from your roots. So again, you guys can tune in here and read as we're going on here. Early conditioning beyond your control. Your 4th house is emotional origins out of the family lines and the private history of childhood. It's the habits and emotional responses that were conditioned by factors beyond our control. All right. This is from a gentleman who writes this called Stephen Arroyo in his chart interpretation handbook. It's the foundation of nurturing and belonging, whether it was safe, loving, early start, or one of lack of mothering. Okay. Arroyo writes, those who have a strong emphasis on the 4th house have a need to act at a deepest emotional level in order to assimilate the essence of their experience in childhood and youth. They yearn for peace for the individual self and therefore almost always have a strong need for privacy, right? So, some neat stuff, right? And this is, let's see, another person here. I love it when my phone does this crazy stuff. Now somehow it went into a hairdryer brush. I don't know how that happened. All right. Thank you, God, for taking us back out of the hairdryer brush shit. Of course, my phone is like having a moment here. Okay, let's go. Okay, and from April Elliott Kent, the essential guide to practical astrology, all right? The mentor encourages you to learn, to nurture yourself and build a family and a comfortable home and feel safe. The oppressor makes you feel unsafe, unwanted, and all alone in the world, right? Reclaiming mothering. One way this could manifest for you is through sacrifice and duty as a parent yourself. Perhaps your load is heavy as a single working mother or father, or you face a seemingly endless series of challenges that deplete you without knowing how to restore your emotional and and soul reservoir. You might think you have to let go of all your personal dreams to the point of deprivation to be there for your kids. Annie Heese of Cafe Astrology writes, the truth is mothering and nurturing can be fun. Saturn might take away that element of fun and make it a chore. Don't let that happen to you, right? So we're going to clear all this stuff out. I'm sure all of us have been mothers that we feel like, oh shit, this work is a chore, right? Yeah, sometimes our kids can be challenging. Sometimes we ourselves can be challenging, or our spouses, right? Or our relationships. The feminine and receiving. Your particular trials may have to do with being a woman or with your relationship to women. You might find it hard to show how much you feel. You might have had experiences of feeling at the mercy of an emotional force, possibly the mother, and guard against that now. It's a journey to real intimacy, with trust and risking being that open, again, in order to know strength through vulnerability. But trial and error brings you to discernment and being realistic about how to create that kind of atmosphere in a relationship. But here, we're just gonna pull this all out of you. This is what we do, right? But if nobody teaches us how to work with energy, words, thoughts, emotions, working with God and love, create, okay? Okay, so that was really profound and really powerful. For now, the other thing you can do is you can take those 10th house placements in your chart because they go along with this, and you can clear those out as well, Angela. And I'm just going to ask God for these gifts now, please, so we don't have to literally go into the work. But what's cool about this is you can go into it more as much as you want, but we're going to ask God now to grab hold of all of this energy that is all of this, to connect to it, all that it is, to connect to it emotionally, to clear it, heal it, feel it, release it, and in place of this, put the best way to be from love in the purest form in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God, for these gifts for Angela and all of us, right, in our souls and in all we are, we say, do, and create, and all that it is in the best way for us and all, or something better. And thank you, God, for that from us. Yeah. And what's cool about this is I surely have healing to do with my relationship in me with my mom. This I know, and I'm sure. And if it's not your mom, it's your dad. It could be your sister, or a mother figure, or a father figure, or a grandma figure, or a grandfather figure. Right? This is the nature of these kinds of family relationships. And when we heal this in us, it changes this out here for all of us, including the relationship, how we are now out here in the earth world with, let's say, our mother, our father, or these authority figures who we feel like we were stunted because they had too many rules or didn't set boundaries. I mean, this is all part of the grand human design of this energy in us that manifests out here so that we can heal it, change it, clear it, and be free of it, and put the best way to be from love in place of this in the purest form in this reality, any reality, and all that is. Thank you, God, for these gifts for all of us. Now, please, from love in the purest form, thank you for these gifts in our souls and all we are, we say, do, and create in the best way for us and all, or something better. And thank you, God, for that for us. Okay, so you got that, girl? So you have all the power here, and this is going to remove, if not all of it, a big chunk of this. There will be more to do because you're a complex soul. Doesn't mean when I say more to do, it's not meant to be a burden. You can work on this yourself, right? You can work on this yourself. You can work on this with us every week. We can pull up a new one, right? Because this is all we're doing here is we're pinpointing with God and universe. We're talking to God. What is the best way to heal this energy in me, to clear this energy in me, to change what's going on here? What is the metaphysical energy that is this? And however it morphed, let me be free of it. And this gives you a way to understand it in earth world, to pinpoint it and say, thanks, God, for me being free of this now, please, right? And working on this and understanding it so that and then what happens when we do this work, and let us know, please, Angela, how this changed you, because in the next 2 to 3 days, as this acclimates, it usually takes 2 to 3 to 4, the number of completion is the number 4. So you may go down where the energy goes in you down and up. And as it said, this energy gets in the very cells of our bodies, of our souls, and in everything that we are, the cell of all that we are, right? So this is about releasing that energy so we can be our healthiest selves. And that's what this says. Okay. And I'm just going to light some more sage here for us to clear this out. All right. For all of us.
And Angela said, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Angela. Thank you.
She also said it affirms and clarified what I need to work on, and I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, well, and we just worked on a whole bunch of it. So you should be starting to feel better, if not already, and all you guys should, because you all got this energy work that we just did here, right? Just like when you say, words and thoughts create, and you create something out here. Where'd that go? Did that fall somewhere?
You're good.
Okay. All right. So just as soon as you say that, right, I'm just putting the sage all over the place here. As soon as you say that, words, thoughts, energy, you put feeling behind it. This is how you change these things. And then you can work more on these placements right now in the now to change everything, okay? And this is for all you guys, but you got that energy work, so it's happening. All this that we just did, it's happening. And we ask God to be free of it. We ask God to clear it. We ask God to heal it. We ask God to change it. But this is a magnificent way to see how these energies are coming up in you and how you can change them, right? Okay, this is all part of the work that we do, all right? Okay, so, and then when you do that, you raise your vibration, you connect to higher knowing, and you keep on growing and growing and growing in your spiritual journey, and more gifts come in, more amazing happens in your life, because that's how it works. You clear the stuff that blocks you, that is tormenting you, or is unwell for you in any way, shape, or form, that you remove that energy, and then you are in a healthier space, and more amazing things start to happen for you. And that's all part of the flow of God or love, right? Really incredible, amazing stuff. Okay, so go ahead. Was that from last week, our question?
Yep. And now we're on to Sophia's question from Nikki.
Okay, now this question is for this week, right?
Yes.
Okay, you got it, Soph. Just got to speak up, girl.
Okay. Nikki says that she was doing leg lifts.
Louder, please.
Okay,
That's
sorry.
okay. That's all right, just so we all can hear. You're doing great. Thanks.
She was doing 6-inch leg lifts, and apparently that's where you lay flat on your back and lift your legs 6 inches and hold for 30 seconds. And during her 30 seconds, her left leg couldn't hold the position. She could feel the tendon by her hip flexor weakening. She says she's never had that problem before. Did she damage it? And she would like guidance for healing this.
Yeah, Nikki, this is, I think you all heard, let me know for sure. Okay, Nikki said she was doing a form of exercise that has to do with her hips and her hip flexors, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay. And let me just see. What's the God's honest truth? And she said that basically she felt it was weak and she never had a problem before with this, and it's an exercise that she's done before and she didn't have a problem. And what's wild and crazy about this is, Nikki, is this has everything to do with connective tissue, okay? So with the stuff that you have going on, it very much mirrors the stuff that I got going on. Too many toxins going on there with things that you got going on over time, over history, right, of our lives, okay? And then you could say, well, it's a connective tissue disorder or disease, right? So what that means is sometimes it's a unique kind of unwellness, right? So what happens is it attacks different areas at different times, which is why one time it'll be over here and you can't feel this, or you have this problem over here, or you have this crazy finger here, but it's multiple layers of things that are all intertwined with this, right? You'll have nerve stuff, you'll have circulatory stuff, and in your case, as we know, you may even have, blood sugar issues as well. This is all about these things having issues in the actual cells, right? And connective tissue disorder, or what you would say is, like they would say, one of the connective tissue diseases is through is known as now this is Earth World identities here, right? This is what they call this kind of stuff, and it is part of your rheumatic autoimmune diseases and disorders, right? And so you are going to see a huge spike in autoimmune stuff based on how funny spike proteins, right? But all right, so we put this over here because I gotta watch what I say, right? So what I'm talking about is too many toxins, all right, and lowering of our immune system, depending on, let's say, what's going on in our environment since when did all this start? 2019. This crazy shit. Because I remember I was supposed to fly out to San Diego or something, and then everything got canceled because of COVID, right? Anyways, so whatever this time frame, right? What's happening in the world is there's a lot more toxins on top of the toxins that we already got, be it microwave, right? Be it plastics, chemicals. We've talked about this in many of our medical intuitive shows. The more toxins you have, the more your body has to unload this stuff. Normally, you can function, right? And your body heals itself, and especially when you're younger, your body can make up for all these deficits, right? But they're really all in here metaphysically, as we've talked about. And they manifest in our reality. They can be in our family lineage, right? Just like when I turned 54, they're like, oh, I got really sick, as many of you know. But what happened is it's really mold sickness, but then that triggers autoimmune disease and disorder. And all the things that I have mirror connective tissue disorder, because those are the weaknesses in my body in these spaces, right? But it's all in my astrology, it's all in my chart, right? Which is incredible stuff, right? But over here in Earth world, they're like, you have an autoimmune disease. This is about what time it hits, and too bad for you, because there's no fucking cure. And you have to go to the doctors, and you have to get steroids, and you're gonna have to be on medication for the rest of your life. And now your life is short. And I'm like, yeah, I don't believe your shit. Fuck you, because really everything is what you believe. Everything, right? And the medical field, just like everything else, is falling the fuck apart, and you have to work with God and pick and choose what is the truth of God within all of this, right? We all do. Okay, so that said, all right, me and you, Nikki, we know we have a lot of really cool shit. Both of our daughters, one of my daughters and one of your daughters is born on the same day. Again, this is energy, so we're going to have similar energies going on, right? So this is what's going on here and what's happening with you. So this is about you doing your metaphysical work, as we talked about. So we could say what God in me is causing. Let me just make sure I got the right ones here. What God in Nikki's astrology, which would behoove anybody who's going to start having or has any of these symptoms, because they're all related to so many different illnesses or toxins in our body. This is why they can't pinpoint anything. And then they say, well, this is one particular type of illness, but then you could have this other one, and then you could have this other one, and you could have layers, and then they're a hot mess with it. And you spend thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of dollars trying to get to the bottom of your fucking health. And it's a mess in a system that's never going to have those answers for you. There will be truths within it. There'll be help within it, assistance within it. But the God's honest truth of everything you need is always going to come from asking God, working with God, working with love, right? And so that's where you're going to have the completion for all of this and all the healing here. We're going to talk to God. Excuse me. We're going to ask God. We're going to ask love. Excuse me while I get my number 7s, right? My number 7 cell salts, because I'm having like some congestion in here, in the coughing, right? And in my sinuses and stuff, but it feels like it's in my chest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a few of my number 7s, right? And this should clear that right up. What is the number 7? It's number 7, right? It's the 7th house in astrology, right? Has a lot of things going on, but the number 7 is one of my homeopathic cell salts that I use to help me when I have challenges during these times. Fantastic holistic medicine, all right? So as I've said before, you guys can look into this. We've talked about these before. I use these for my own personal health while I'm going through these challenges, which are very much like Nicole Opper's, right? Because what we have is mold sickness. So everything we have out here in our reality is because of what's going on in here. And in here is you will find so many of the answers in writing, just like we did with Angela Pearl in her chart. So what we're going to do now is we're going to ask God for Nikki and me and all of us and anybody who has any form of connective tissue disorder or disease. What's the biggest placement in here? Biggest aspect in here, God, that we can be free of internally in our souls to clear, heal, and change this for Nikki and myself and all of us. What is the biggest thing that creates this in us? All right. Thank you for us removing it and all that has to do with this as well. Clear, heal, and change it, and let us be free of it. And thank you for showing us the placement that causes this metaphysically in us, in our physical, with this disorder. Oh, it's the 6th house, and our favorite, another one of our great planets that everybody is like mortified from. If anyone out there want to make a guess?
Uranus.
Close.
Pluto.
Sophia, for $20. Okay, here it is. I don't know if you can see it, but it is your symbol of Scorpio, okay? Thanks God for them being able to see it. Okay, so we have Scorpio. And we have the 6th house. It's 6 with a period next to it. Can you see that? The 6th house. 6th house is your Virgo house. It is your house of health. So you want to take these placements and you would look those up. But because this is the first one that came up, this is the one we're going to look up. So this is how you get to the bottom of the metaphysical and the physical. This is a great way to do this. Now, there's multiple ways to work with this energy and work with your charts and work with astrology. But the master key here is to work with God and love. Ask and you shall receive, right? But be specific. You don't know how to ask. You ask that you do. You don't know what to ask for. You ask that you ask for whatever it is that is best that you need to ask for. Simple. So easy, right? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to quick pull this up. So I'm going to go right on here. You ready, Nikki? You ready, everybody? All right, so just like we did for Angela Pearl, we're going to quick pull up another one of these. We're going to go to our Google site, right? And there's other books and other ways to do all of this, of course, right? And of course, this isn't the only formula that you can do, right? Okay, there's plenty of astrological formulas to get to the bottom of your health and discover new things, absolutely, and to work with this energy. All right, let's see. So we're doing Pluto in the 6th house natal. That's what I'm going to put in my, Google search window. If you have Google. I use Google because that's what's on my phone, and right now my phone is like Uranus, like Jennifer said, and it does these explosions, and it's challenging to work with, right? Okay, so if you can see it, hopefully, let's see, God, if they can see as I'm moving. Maybe you can see it for a brief minute. All right, so Pluto in the 6th house natal meaning. All right, so we're gonna go down here. Okay, I think I found where we need to go. Woo! Get ready. Pluto in the 6th house. This is really good. Mental overheating. That's a good one, right? Where are you running hot? Where are you thinking too much? Yeah, isn't that crazy? Mental overheating. Ooh, that's a heavy concept. All right. Pluto in the 6th house in the natal chart has a laser-like focus, and often this focus is directed towards the self. Ooh, I can feel the pain. All right, for myself, right? And for all of us. Okay. How can I improve myself, better myself, purify and cleanse myself? With this position of Pluto, there can be an obsessive and compulsive pull to be perfect. Constantly seeking to work on the self, there can be a tendency to be hypercritical of the self. As for every improvement made, the bar is set a tad higher. Like a hamster on a wheel, there is no stopping unless you decide to get off the wheel, right? This is the story of my life, right? I'm so over being sick or unwell or toxic and being tormented and having crazy things happen in my life, right? So this makes sense that I would have this in me, right? The upside of this position of Pluto is, of course, modesty, being humble, perfectionism, hard work, ethics, strong analytical capabilities, capacities, cleansing power. With this position, we often find people involved in work that requires a tremendous patience and attention to detail. Researchers, accountants, people involved in organizational work, classification work. The downside of this position of Pluto is that there can be a tendency to have an internalized sense of guilt and shame. There can be a subconscious belief of being bad, which can fuel an overall sense of self-loathing. The problem with self-loathing is this: you cannot change what you cannot see and accept, and it's nearly impossible to accept what you have hatred for. Ooh, this is heavy shit. This is fantastic. Thanks, God. This is for surely what I need to get out of me. There's no doubt about it. How about you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like crazy. All right. Here we find the concept of compulsion and repulsion of Pluto, repulsively attracted to bettering the self, and at times repulsed by the self. The challenge of the position of Pluto is to learn self-compassion, self-acceptance, Piscean values, opposite of Virgo, which which intent is to discriminate, which leads to being able to fully fulfill this Pluto's desires, self-improvement. Connected with this pattern, Pluto in the 6th house can also signify that you can make up obligations for yourself to justify not having any time for yourself. This is a typical 6th house pattern and a form of personal avoidance. Nice day, right? How crazy that they use the word connected, right? Connective tissue disorder, being out of order for you, for love for you. Holy shit, right? Crazy stuff. I tell you, this shit is crazy cool, right? Because you can put in words what you know is fucked up or not, or going on in you that doesn't work for you or is toxic, right? And then you can understand it better. But then it gives you the ability as well to be cognizant of it, to clear it, to heal it, to change it, and put the best way to be in place of it. Thank you, God, for that for us. This is powerful shit. Totally powerful. The 6th house is associated with Virgo, and Virgo can become so analytical that it loses the big picture. I will use here the image of Jeffrey Green, who talks about a centipede trying to understand what's wrong with one of the 1,000 legs. You stop and try to fix that one broken leg, and you forgot about the other 999. That the other 999 work perfectly fine. The key with this position of Pluto is to learn how to not sweat the small stuff. Easier said than done, depending on the rest of the chart. But mental paralysis surely is a possibility with this position of Pluto. All right, this was really cool shit. Let me see what else they got. Now, I just want to, I want to honor the person who wrote this, because this was fantastic. It's great stuff. It's called, let's see, Pluto in the 6th house, mental overheating. Absolutely. All right, it's called Look Up the Stars, okay? That's the site that it's on. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this, Nikki, and we're going to ask God to connect to this energy for all of us, for Nikki and all of us here. Let's connect to all this energy, all the emotional energy that is all of this. Let us connect to it. Let us feel it, heal it, clear it, process it, and release it. And in place of this, put the best way to be from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God, for these gifts in our souls, and in all we are, be, say, do, and create, and in all that it is, in the best way for us and all or something better. And thank you, God, for that for us. Pretty cool shit. Now, here's the thing. It said Scorpio in the 6th house, right? So that's like Scorpio or Pluto in the 6th house, right? It's like having Scorpio in the 6th house. It's also like having Virgo and Pluto, right? So here's the deal, Virgo in Mercury and Scorpio, let's say, right? So you're going to have some of this stuff. Now, this can be your greatest gifts, obviously. How I do what I do here, this is part of the aspects that gives me those gifts. But on the other side of that coin, there's that self-loathing energy, that toxic, fucking obsessive, compulsive craziness that could make somebody insane, right? In their head of beating themselves up and trying to find this and can't get to this and trying to do this, right? And making yourself nuts, self-loathe thinking, feelings, emotion, right? But if we don't have a clue how this stuff works, right, then we can never get to the bottom of it. This said, there's wonderful gifts within this as well for all the work that I do, right? So, Nikki, you have all this stuff. I'm sure you get this, and everybody here has some form of all this wicked cool stuff, right? But here's why I said all those other placements in here, because there's multiple placements that are variations of this energy. It doesn't have to manifest exactly like this. Sometimes it morphs into our physical reality in our bodies as well, right? Like in the illnesses that I'm going through now with my family and with myself, right? And each individual, it morphs differently, right? But in astrology, I can tell you right now that I don't have the planet Pluto in my 6th house. However, I have all these other energies that are aspects in astrology that return to me these very things, and I go to God and ask for the answer, and it may not necessarily be literally in the chart, just like I rolled it in the dice, but it is regardless. It is the God's honest truth of the answer of where I need to go to heal this. Crazy shit, huh? Wow. Powerful stuff. Now, it also may be that it is in the under layers of my chart, my past life stuff. It can be in my subconscious soul charts, my past life soul charts. It could be in an energy manifested in my parents' charts. It can also, but it will be somewhere in my chart, all right? Because usually the energy is not in one placement. It is multiple, because it shows you in your reality that that's why this is happening, right? Just like when you meet somebody and somebody says to me, oh, when am I going to meet my lover? and they're like, well, my Libra is in this and my Uranus is going to hit it, right? And that could be one factor that would cause it to happen. But there's a million other aspects in your chart that would read over and over and over that you are going to meet a new lover, right? Like in my case, well, it would be the vertex, a person, place, or thing that you meet somebody, or the person, a place, or thing happens in your life that changes the course or the trajectory of your life, that changes your life forever, right? So that vertex is where you may meet one of your future partners, let's say, and usually it is in alignment with the transit, or it is in your progress chart as well. So it'll be in layers of your astrology, not in just one placement. So just like when somebody passes away, right? The same energy, you could find that, like when my father passed away, I found it in my chart, right? It will also be apparent in my mother's chart, in my sister's chart, in every one of our family charts, because this is the destiny of all these people. Astrology is just incredible. Formula of God, working with God is the only way you're going to get to all of these answers, right? So there's all different kinds of formulas and all different kinds of ways to work with God or love, but this is your master formula. There's no doubt about it. And so when I say your master formula, it's working with God first for whatever you choose with everything else. And then, of course, universe would not have guided me to astrology, because this is how you bridge earth world with the metaphysical in a way that people can understand. Because like Angela Pearl can say to me, well, I'm suffering through all this depression and I can't pinpoint it. And then I do this work with God and we pull up exactly what's going on there. Same thing with Nikki in her physical body. This is why this is happening, right? Because, right, of the connections, right? As you can see in this Pluto and Virgo energy, this is the energy that's causing this in her physical reality. Do you see? So this is a main chunk of this. There will be more work to do. Like people will be like, well, you did this clearing, and while I felt better, I'm still having the same problem, right? Or well, that's your interpretation of what you think is the same problem. It could be just like that pile of toys that I told you. It usually is, right? The older the soul, the more stuff you have going on in you, right? So you can pick that pile of toys in your kid's room when they don't pick up their toys for 30 days, and you start putting those toys away, and you find things hidden in you that you didn't know were there, and then more stuff comes up to be released in the transits, in the stars, in all that is God, that is love, and it affects you, and then boom, more stuff happens that will trigger depression in you to be released, to be healed, to be cleared, to be changed, to be created, to be something new and awesome, incredibly amazing as part of you. Do you see? So it can happen in your physical body. It happens in your reality. It can happen in your mental state as well. So this is how the best, quickest, easiest way to really pinpoint this work, and in anything and everything that you do, whether I do it on the chart, or I do it with astrology cards, or I do it with tarot, or I do it with numerology, or I do it with astrology, or the astrology dice, whatever my soul is called to. Working with God is the key, right? Whatever formula you use, but here right now is a master top formula of how to work on you, how to heal you, how to get to these places that nobody else can get to. Yeah, and that's why they can't answer this shit out here, because the answers aren't out here where they're looking. They're part of it, right? And they can give you tools to help you with these things and medicines and stuff, but you have to balance. Just like if you haven't noticed, I took those salts, right? I started having coughing and issues in here, right? And congestion in my chest. I took number 7, right? One dosage of number 7, which was 4 little tea pills, right? In my homeopathic cell salts, and look already, right? In the acute moment, see how much of a difference it makes. I'm not coughing. I'm not feeling congested. I'm not going the whole time, right? I'm not, right? So, and if I need to do more of them, universe will guide me and show me to do more of it, right? So, I mean, universe guides us, and these are tools in earth world. So we balance these things just like modern medicine and all the tools out here, all medicine and all that is God. Everything is designed to help and heal and assist us in some way, shape, or form. But the truth of God and love is the best way to get to the whole completion of all the answers, whatever your issues are, is to work with love. Ask God for the answer. The God's honest truth. And I'm thrilled that we found this, Nikki, for you and me, because this propels our healing with all of this in our physical reality, because it's a bitch. It's no joke, right? And autoimmune, right? Like we've said before, autoimmune disorder diseases, as they call them in Earth world, they're really just symptoms that have manifested in your physical body from the metaphysical stuff that we've showed you today, right? And on my phone, right? That we pulled up, the metaphysical stuff, right? But they don't do that out here or associate that out here because we are complex beings. And this is how you get to the bottom of your total healing, is by working with love, energy, and God for all the solutions, be it this in the moment to help me with the congestion, because this is happening based on me being out of balance in me metaphysically as I do my work, right? And so all tools of earth world reality and metaphysical, right, are designed to heal you. But the reason you can't get to those answers here is because they have these belief systems that are no longer, they're archaic now, right? But you can use some of these tools to help and assist you for sure. This is how what we teach works, right? You take everything that is God, you work with love for the God's honest truth of all these answers to be your healthiest you in your life across the board and in every area, because energy manifests in all that we are, right? Okay, so that said, next up, I hope that, I don't have to hope that that helps you, Nikki. I know that it will, right? It'll help all of you. All of you should feel, very different as you go down this path into the future in the next 3 to 4 days, okay? Because you started just by being here on the show and us removing this energy from you, right? This starts this process, right? So the healing is actually happening, and you will feel it. You'll feel it, right? And how you feel and how it reflects your reality as well. Okay? All right. So, Jennifer, do we have any more questions?
Not at this time. I was wondering if we could do a dice for me.
Oh, Jennifer wants me to do a dice, right? Health gambling.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. Sophia, do you have any questions over there? Anything that you see in questions?
No new questions that I see.
Okay. All right. So Jennifer would like me to do a health roll for her. What metaphysically God's honest truth of it is causing Jennifer's in her metaphysical, right, in astrology, what aspects is this that is causing the greatest health challenges for Jennifer right now in all ways and in all that she is? See how easy this is? Thanks God for that for us. God's honest truth. See what we got. And you know what's funny? Jupiter in the 8th house in my chart. It is Jupiter in the 8th house that gives me a gift for gambling. This I've known about. I used to go to like Atlantic City and know that I have a gift for gambling, so I would win money in Atlantic City, right? It's kind of like going to the bank and picking up some cash, right? This is part of my gifts in my chart, right? Some people are really great at the stock market. Some people are good at other things, right? Have other, like I know Nicole Opper's mom has a gift for winning the lottery, right? And she's won it a bunch of times in this lifetime, right? So we all have different gifts of luck, gifts of gambling, right? So in this particular case, with this placement in me, it is Jupiter in the 8th house and Jupiter in Leo, right? So this said, right, this is one of the reasons I would connect to the dice, because people go, why would she pick dice? Or why would she do that? Well, there's why. Pretty cool shit, right? So the stuff that we are guided to and governed to within our souls comes from the stuff that we are guided to out here comes from the stuff that's going on in here. Do you see what I'm saying? Incredible stuff. So, guess what we got, Jennifer? Your favorite, that big fat Aries. Aries. Oh, Aries in the 9th house. 9. She got the number 9. And she got Aries. So there's 2 things I would do with this, right? Because the 9th house, the natural ruler of the 9th house is Sagittarius, okay? So we would also look up what's going on in Jennifer's chart, her natal chart, to find out what the actual ruler is in her 9th house, the cusp of her 9th house, right? But we can also say that this is the Aries sign, but Aries is also Mars, right? So Mars in the 9th house, right, is what we got. We got Mars in the 9th house, or you could have Aries in the 9th house. So because Aries in the 9th house came up, this is where we will go, okay? All right, you guys ready for this?
Do you want to know my 9th house cusp?
Yeah, what is your 9th house cusp? Libra. Okay, so Jennifer's 9th house cusp is Libra. All right, so ready, guys? I'm going to pull it up. Do you know how many, what do you call those tabs I have open in my phone? This is probably why my phone clogs. It's like 64 because I'm nonstop crazy with this. Again, that's that Scorpio and Virgo, Pluto Scorpio that we just talked about because I'm maddened, right? but I love what I do because I'm fascinated by everything that is God, but that's all part of those gifts. But I have to have a healthy balance of it, because when I don't, then I become what? Ill or unwell, or it shows up in manifestations that are not the healthiest and best for me, right? Okay, so let's see. Let's put Aries. Aries in the 9th house, Natal. That's what I'm putting in my bar for all you guys who want to put it in your bar and who want to sing along with us or do with us. Okay. I don't know if you can see it. I keep putting it up there. Maybe if I lowered the brightness, maybe that would help. I don't know. Thanks God for it working. I don't know if that helps. Oh, I think I got it. I don't know if you can see it, but it says here, Aries in the 9th house, Natal. Okay. Is Love outside with Sophia?
Yes, Sophia just took Love out.
Okay, I hear this dog barking outside, and it's our Love. Love is our mascot, right? The 9th house in Aries, ready? With the 9th house in the sign of Aries, a person can be too passionate about their beliefs, not allowing others to express their system of convictions. Fighters for religion, ethical approach, college, or their own progress of any kind are seen here. Okay, so did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Neat shit. Okay, you ready? So I'm going to scroll down here, and because my phone is being a little bit of a clogger, what time is it?
8:24.
Okay. So we're going to scroll on down here. 9th house in, where did it go? Where is it, God? It's 9th house in Aries, Gemini, Taurus, Aries. Okay. The 9th house in Aries is a sign of Aries. A person can be too passionate about their beliefs, not allowing others to express their system of convictions. Fighters for religion, ethical approach, college, or their own progress of any kind are seen here. In general, this is a strong position that finds energy in the future and draws a person towards positive change. However, any ties to the past will make their dreamland vivid and blur the direction they're supposed to follow. Once they feel they are on the right path with a mission of accomplishment, a mission to accomplish, and deep beliefs leading forward, they are the exact people who will learn about boundaries, conflict, and fiercely achieve any goals they set out to reach. They tend to find purpose only in things they are truly passionate about, and wither in any circumstances that don't invigorate them and make them feel alive. They need their talent put to use in their fire, in their stomach constantly burning, in order to live a long, creative, and healthy existence. So to me, Aries is all about freedom. We just read this for Jennifer, and here's where it gets complex with this work, right? Which is why I do the mad studying and the things that I do, guided by God and higher knowing, and talk to God all the time, because that's where all the answers are always going to come. But this said, it talks about how Aries, right, needs its freedom to do what it loves to do. The 9th house is Sagittarius. It's all about freedom. It's about higher knowing. It's about freedom, right? And it's opposite the 3rd house, right? Okay, which is communication, right? And in this world, we are being shut down in our communication. We are not allowed to say what we want to say. We're not allowed to do what we want to do. And this is all Aries. This is all Sag, right? And this is all the 3rd house as well in the communication, right? Sag is about your freedom to communicate, your freedom to travel, your freedom for higher knowing, your freedom to live your dreams, right? So when you have Aries is all about the self, and you can't do what you love to do, then this is going to cause mental, physical, and energetic issues in your physical body, mentally, physically, spiritually, out here in your reality. And that's why they pulled up this placement for you. Do you see what I'm talking about? Yeah. Because this is the energy that's underlying, and it's happening in the collective, right? As well as it's affecting you. It's stunting you. This is why so many people are having challenges with their nervous system and their hearts, right? Because their passion is being taken away. Their freedom is being sucked out of them. And then all of a sudden it comes out in our physical, right? We would have heart problems, nerve problems, thinking problems, all right, communication problems, right? Problems across the board in our reality, because we're not free anymore, and it affects, right, in our health. And Aries is a sign that's all about me. So your will is like, you've got to move forward, and you're running into a brick wall, and there's no way that it can't affect you in your physical. Do you see? So this is how I can explain to you in a great way that universe has guided me to here now, how this stuff works, right? So you can see where these connections happen. And this is for all of us. And again, all of this work is for all of us, because what's happening in the collective is happening in our personal reality as well. You say? Okay. So, any questions about this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what we're going to do right now is we're going to connect to this energy. We're going to clear this all out. We're going to heal it, clear it, change it, and be free of it with God. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, God. Love, energy. Okay. Thank you for us connecting to all energy that is all of this. Thank you for us connecting to all emotional energy that is all of this. Thank you for us feeling it, healing it, processing it, releasing it, and being free of it. And in place of this, putting the best way to be from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is for everybody here, and for Jennifer as well, and for me too, and all of us, if we also desire it. Put the best way to be from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is, in us, in our souls, and when we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is in place of all this, and with these gifts that are best for us. Thank you, God, for these gifts in us now, please, from love for all of us, in the best way for us, and all of something better. So, that was a little bit longer. Everything is guided by higher knowing. So if I morph from the usual, that's because I'm supposed to. Right? All right. So that said, we had a massive clearing tonight on so many of our habits and patterns and our stuff in us, right? Remember that autoimmune is our self-loathing disorders, diseases. They are not your identity. They are only your identity if you make them your identity, right? So while I say here that I haven't been feeling well, and as you know, we have been sick, right? All right, so I'm not going to own it. I'm going to say I'm working on getting better. I'm working on being well, and I'm working with God to do that. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not going to say, oh, I have this, it's my family lineage, and it's just the way it is, and I have to suffer. Fuck that, right? I'm going to ask God to clear that out of me, those beliefs out of me, because so many of us do this, where we make our illness our identity, right? So thanks God for us connecting to all energy that is all of this, and this is how you do this in your everyday life as well. Thank you for us connecting to all energy that is all of this. Thank you for us connecting to it emotionally. Thank you for us healing it, clearing it, feeling it, releasing it, and being free of it all right, for all of us now, please. That is all of this in this last segment from the last prayer that we did. And in place of this, put the best way to be from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. Thank you, God, for these gifts in our souls, and in all we are, be, say, do, and create in the best way for us, and all something better. And thank you, God, for that, for us, right?
Thank you, God, for that for me.
Okay, so that said, where are we right now?
We're at 8:30.
Okay.
And Teresa Courtney Lloyd actually has a question.
Hi, Teresa.
She has an ajolote that is temp sensitive, and I pulled up an ajolote. I don't know how to say it in English. I know that's how you say it in Spanish.
Oh my God, is this thing real?
It's a little salamander. I think they're from Mexico. Yeah, it's a cute little thing.
Oh my God, this is cute. It's like it's almost like not even real. Can you guys see it? Sorry for the reflection. Oh, I think that might be good. I think that might be good. All right. Oh my God, it's cute as shit. Yeah. Okay.
So apparently these little guys are temp sensitive. And she said that they enjoyed so much outside time the other day that she forgot that it raised the temperature in the animal's tank, and she didn't notice until the next morning, and she did her best to remedy the situation, but she's being very shy now. Is she okay?
All right. So you remedy the situation. All right. Did you do some energy work, some prayer work on this? I feel like she's okay, but she feels like she's like in a shock space. Like it doesn't feel really good for her. What's coming in is these little guys are super, they're like us. They're super sensitive, right? That's why like so much shit doesn't show up on blood tests, and we go to the doctors over and over. So if you did everything that you could do to rectify the situation, I'm just going to ask God, is there anything that she's missing? But what we're going to do is we're going to ask God to bring the angels in and to give you all the gifts and tools of love, energy, magic that are going to change this so that these little guys can stay. If you have many of them or however many there are, from love, if they so choose, from love in the healthiest, best way. Because when I get in their energy, they still feel like there's a propensity for them to cross over or exit. So we're going to ask God if this is what's best for all of them, that the angels come in and take care of this so that everybody, if this is what's best, they can stay and everybody's happy from love. Okay? And thank you, God, for these gifts for us now, please. And anybody who does, or anything that doesn't believe, that this is possible, any blocks in this, clear, heal, and change, and let us connect to that. Let us clear it, heal it emotionally, free us from it, and process it and feel it and be free of it. That would stop this from happening. Thank you, God, for these gifts for Teresa and these little guys now, please, from love. Nothing like a holiday miracle, right? Thank you, God, for that for us. Because they're cute as shit, right? And so if this is what's best, then so be it from love. And thank you, God, for that for us. So we sent that energy out, girl. They're telling me you did everything you can do. And that love is what is going to bring the propensity to save them. Right now it's 57 to 63 to 68%. Just keep an eye on them. Be like a little bit hyper vigilant. Just be super aware. And I feel like they're going to make it. Right?
She says she's being her right now and talking to her and letting her know that she's safe.
There you go. That's right. That's right. Talk to them. They know what you're saying. When people say, oh, it's just an animal, has no idea. Oh, bullshit. Animals live on instinct and emotion. They live on that. That is their God connection. So when anybody says animals don't feel, that's bullshit. And that they don't understand, they do. Everything is energy. So when you speak to them, even if they do not understand the words in the way that you do, they know what you're saying energetically. They know your body moves. They know, and they read energy like nobody else's business. Look at your pet, your dogs. They know. Your cats, your birds, your animals. They know what's going on, right? Your German shepherds, your boundary guys, right? All right, so just remember that. They know. They have feelings, and it is love that heals everything. Love, right? So the more you talk to them, the more you love them, the more you do good things. Of course, you guided by higher knowing as to what is best to do. You want to smother those little things, right? So, this is truth of God and love. This is how it works. By talking through them, they will understand. They know what's going on. Just like when you have to leave them or you set up a nice little bed for them, tell them, hey, this is for you. I love you. I want this beautiful bed for you. Yeah. And how does it make you feel when people buy you things or people make things for you? It makes you feel good because you know that you're what? Loved. People give a shit about you. How cool is that? How cool?
Yeah, super cool.
It makes a world of difference. I can't tell you how many times I talked to my car. I said, car, I love you. I think her name is Ellie, right? She's how old? 25, 26 years old. That car is still going, right? And I can't tell you when I had like a flat tire, I was like, please get me home. Please let the air stay in the tire till I get in my driveway. And no shit, that's what happened, right? I ask God for everything. I ask love for everything, right? Yeah, for the best health for my car, for the best health for my pets, for the best health for Teresa's little guys, and for ourselves, right? Okay, where are we at in time?
8:35.
Okay.
So this ajolote thing triggered a memory from when I was in Spain because I read a story called Ajolote by Julio Cortázar, who is a Spanish writer. Not actually Spanish. I forget where he's from. South America, I believe. But I feel like maybe I should clear something with that.
Really? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, why would it come up in my life? It's so strange.
Yeah. What?
I don't know.
So a lot of times when you say stuff like this is just your soul releasing stuff. So Teresa, this was guided by your soul with Teresa's experience to trigger this in your soul so that you can release it energetically. And the stars are doing that automatically. That's part of the reason why they say with age comes wisdom. Because whether you do what we do here or however you do your healing work or address your stuff, whether it's with a therapist, psychology, medicine, whatever you're doing to help you be well in whatever way, right? This is all part of the grand design of God, of how things work. With age comes wisdom. So that's what's happening. Your soul is releasing this energy, and that's why it's come up. So thanks God for us releasing it and being free of it in place of this, putting the best way to be from love and the healthiest best way from love in place of this, in this reality, any reality, and all that is in our souls, and in all we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is in the best way for us and all some better. And thank you, God, for that.
Thank you, God, for that for me.
Okay. So 8:35 it is?
Yeah.
Okay, any last questions do we have? Anybody else have any questions for tonight?
Teresa Courtney Lloyd says, thank you so much.
Blessings, girl. I hope you're going to get down here soon. Let me know. I would love that. And remember, all you guys can come here to our live studio audience as well. You're more than welcome to come down here, see our Shoppe and Center, and meet us in person, and have a great time. That's what life is supposed to be about, having the best time. Okay, that said, I think we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Many blessings to all of you. Have a great holiday. We will most likely be here Sunday night at 7:15 for our live talk forum, unless I'm guided by higher knowing not to do the show. But right now, our plan is to do the show. and we'll go from there. So that's in a couple of days. Tonight's Friday night. Thanks for coming to our 6 and 12 Medical Intuitive, and many great things happen here tonight. Many blessings into the future. Thank you all again so much, and we'll see you on Sunday night, and then we got the right thing on Wednesday. All right, have a great night, okay, and have a great holiday. Thanks, whatever you celebrate. Okay, thanks everybody. Good night. Do you know how to shut this off?